from Harland, actually from our own houses. Blake drugged these dogs into a different pound this week. We're coming to you from our houses as there's a blizzard outside, although it's not bad. We were supposed to be involved with the Winter Festival, and one of the officers at the Steve Brown Arts Center canceled our part of the Winter Festival, so it's his fault.
Those are darn guys in the suits. They really inhibit us, don't they?
They do.
Their orders make no sense.
They don't. I'll go in and yell at him when we get off the air.
Well, don't go too far, because they'll fire you.
Only if that can only happen. But this is the birthplace of the Bohemian Resistance. We are the Bohemian Underground with producer Blake Tempus and warrior poet Dale Rueber. I'm the Marquis of Adam, Jim Gillespie, and this is the news for November 29th, 2025. We are sponsored by Mickey D's Pizza and Lobster. The Farrells are kind sponsors of the podcast. Include them at your wedding, graduation, or festival plans. Don't wait. Their schedule is filling up for 2026. They are sponsoring a traveling art show for the Steve Brown Arts Center. Thanks to them for including that show. Another sponsor who has been with us since the birth of the Steve Brown Arts Center has been Derek's Repair, located in Jesup, Iowa. Contact Derek Marty for your car repair need. He was on the second show, actually. Dale had the first show. Also, check out the podcast with What Is Up with our friend Bubba Seaman up in Fairbank, Iowa. Bubba, I'm going to have breakfast with Bubba December 20th.
You schedule quite a ways ahead, don't you?
I do. If I don't put it on my calendar, I forget.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you are remembering, Dale, but I write it down, I lose it.
I write it down, then I lose the paper I wrote it on.
First thing I do every morning is check the calendar.
Yeah, that's what I have to do too, is look at a calendar, and otherwise I'm lost for the day. So
I am too. So, all right, Dale. So I'll give you a chance to think about this for a while.
Okay.
I've developed a list, during the blizzard here and during Thanksgiving, I've been watching movies, and I came up with the top 5 movie lines of all time. And
okay.
I wrote an editorial about one, so I will give you my top 5. OTL first, though. Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mind. What movie is that from?
Casablanca.
There you go. Another one, Elementary, my dear Watson.
But Sherlock Holmes, I'm not sure which one.
Yeah,
but
The Adventure, there's so many out there. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, very good. Say hello to my little friend.
Oh, about the Cuban guy in Florida and
Scarface.
Okay.
All right, these are OLIs. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Oh, that's Untouchables. Or not Untouchables, but Godfather.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Here you go. This one you'll know. There's no crying in baseball.
Major League.
A League of Their Own. A League of Their Own. That's the girls one.
Yeah, I knew which one it was. I didn't know the name. So.
Yeah. All right. Here is number 5. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
That was the Dirty Harry.
Very good. That's number 5. Number 4, Stella. Hey, Stella.
A Streetcar Named Desire.
Very good. Number 3. My mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You'll never know what you're going to get.
That's Forrest Gump.
Very good. Number 2. If you build it, he will come.
Oh, that's the Field of Dreams. That's the big one. Yeah.
And number 1 for me of all time, I'm Your Huckleberry.
Okay, I know. I can't tell you that one.
From the movie, Doc says it in the movie Tombstone.
Oh, sure.
There was two. There was 2 of the same movie that year, if you remember.
Yeah, the Kevin Costner one didn't turn out so well, but the other one, Kurt Russell one, was the big one, right? They were competing with each other, and
very good. Do you know what a huckleberry is?
Well, it's either a hound or a fin. So no, I'm assuming it's some kind of berry, but I figure a huckleberry is like a tenderfoot or a greenhorn, that kind of thing.
Oh, not a bad guess, Dale. That's a pretty good guess. Okay. Here we go. Phrase, I'm a huckleberry, drifts through American folklore like a tumbleweed through with a sly grin. It's not merely a line from Tombstone, not just Doc Holliday invitation to a duel. It's a declaration of identity, a paradoxical badge of readiness, and a wink from a trickster spirit that haunts the frontier. To say I'm your huckleberry is to volunteer for destiny, to step into the role of an unlikely hero, the small berry that proves sweeter than the grand fruit. In the 19th century, huckleberry was slang for someone humble, ordinary, even diminutive. Very good. Yet in that ordinariness lay the perfect fit. The huckleberry was just the right one for the task. Holliday's phrase, then, is a paradox of scale, smallness that contains greatness, humility that masks bravado. It is the Bohemian creed in a miniature, the rebel who knows that power lies not in size or status, but in timing, wit, and willingness to play the part when the curtain rises. That is my favorite line from a movie. I'm your huckleberry. But you were very good, Dale. You are a, what do they call those?
Cinemaphile or something?
Cinephile.
Yeah. My problem is I know them a lot, but sometimes I can't drag them out of my memory of the exact names or anything. Okay.
And I read multiple books, but as soon as the book leaves my hand, I forget the author and I forget the name of the book.
I thought of 2 or 3 here while you were talking, or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I can probably explain, but okay. I got a question for you. How you gonna get down that hill?
Say again.
This is the quote starts with, I've got a question for you. How are you going to get down that hill?
That sounds familiar. I don't recall.
Okay, that's from a movie called Hombre with Paul Newman. And it's a Western. A lot of this I watched this movie in a big theater, 400 or 500 people, all male Marines. The bad guy comes walking up the hill to where the Paul Newman character is with his friends, and he makes all kinds of threats against him, what he's going to do. And then he says, you got any questions? And she says, yes, I got a question. How are you going to get down that hill? And the Marine goes, oh, yeah, because they're going to shoot him, And that's when he tries to shoot him, But that's what we thought should happen, is that he should just shoot him and be done with him. Forget about the white flag and that kind of thing. So that was kind of funny. And then you don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Oh, that's from The Untouchables, my favorite.
The Untouchables, yeah.
Yeah.
And my favorite line, and I don't expect you to know this, but I think I did mention it one time, but John Wayne and Victor McLaglen are having this huge fight. John Wayne, knocks the guy out into the river, and he's helping him up, and he says, have you had enough? And Victor McLaglen says, no. He says, I'm fresh as a daisy. And John Wayne says, you look more like a black-eyed Susan to me. Yeah,
you mentioned that before. I like that line.
It's been my favorite movie quote, and so I just think that's great.
This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network coming to you from our homes this week, as we are in a blizzard in Iowa. The dog is sleeping on the floor and the squirrels are playing outside.
I haven't seen any squirrels yet. I saw a rabbit run through the snow, but I haven't seen any squirrels yet. So
yeah, my driveway is plowed, but the road isn't plowed.
Okay. You have someone plow your driveway?
Tracy and Virgil are kind enough to plow the driveway.
Yeah. I always just wait till it's all over instead of. Though sometimes if it stops snowing, it's going to snow more later, but you just need something to do so you get out and shovel, and then knowing you're going to have to do it again later.
Yeah.
But so far, I haven't had that urge.
I understand. Dale, if you recall, last week we had on Mason's top 100 or top 90 to 100 favorite songs. Well, this week we've got Mason Fox's 80 to 89. Starting at 89, Abracadabra, the Steve Miller Band.
Okay.
Number 88, Steve Miller Band, Big Old Jet Airliner. Number 87, Steve Miller Band, Rockin' Me Baby.
Okay.
Number 86, Steve Miller Band, Swingtown. That one doesn't come to my mind. Number 85, Steve Miller Band, Take the Money and Run. I know that one. That one comes to mind.
I actually knew a guy named Steve Miller for several years, and he always, whenever I met him, I said, Steve Miller Band, right? Because, I didn't see him very often. He said, oh, yeah, that's me. And so, well, this kid likes Steve Miller, I'll tell you that.
He does. He does. Number 84, Jan and Dean, Little Old Lady from Pasadena.
Sure. Love that song.
Yeah. Number 83, Foghat Boogie Motel.
That's a new
Foghat and Boogie Motel. I don't know that one.
No, I don't either.
Number 82, The Beach Boys, Little Saint Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Number 81, The Eagles, Already Gone. And number 80 for this week, and we'll stop at 80 for this week, the Eagles and Take It Easy.
Okay. So they're getting down to the most popular, right? We're going down that way? Okay.
Going down the road.
Let's say about an Eagles song, then I think they should have on there, but he may have that coming up. So,
what Eagles song are you thinking about?
I like Desperado.
I love Desperado. Yeah, a lot of people have covered that, haven't they?
Linda Ronstadt does it as good as anybody. I just love her voice. And I saw her. It was I was out in California, but in the '60s, and it was like a MTV show where they showed like videos of singers, but they had Linda Ronstadt singing her first song, and the Stone Ponies couldn't make it that day. It was Linda Ronstadt and the Stone Ponies, and they, well, the Stone Ponies can't make it today, and so then she basically lip synced the song, like they did. But the poor Stone Ponies, they didn't get any airtime. So.
I didn't. Was that her band forever?
No, just when she got started.
Okay.
Pretty soon they didn't mention the Stone Ponies at all, so they just mentioned Linda. And I'm trying to think of the name of the song, and of course I can't, but I will.
She dated and did she marry Jerry Brown out in California or not?
I don't think they ever got married. And she had throat problems, sort of like Julie Andrews did, had problems with her throat. And I think she had to give up singing, or she has Parkinson's, or something happened to her within the last 10 years where she pretty much had to give up performing. I always thought she had a beautiful voice.
Yeah, she was very pretty too. I can remember the album cover with her in the roller skate.
It's a different drum, right? You and I travel to the beat of a different drum.
Yeah.
And that was the song. So, yeah.
All right. Well, this is Steve Brown Arts Center, and we'll be back in 1 minute. This is the Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. We're back to you from our homes this week as we have a blizzard going on. We were scheduled to be in Heartland this week, and because of the blizzard, I'm caught home and didn't make it to town. So our producer Blake was kind enough to get us hooked up this way.
Did you make a special grocery store trip yesterday or the day before?
I did yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you?
Yes, I did. Do you have something that you got brewing that's going to last you a couple of days, or?
I haven't started it yet. I figured I'd start it when I get off the call here. I'm gonna do I've got a roast.
Oh, okay.
Roast with mushrooms and peppers. I don't do potatoes anymore. Love potatoes, and I didn't even have potatoes with my Thanksgiving meal. The only bread I had was with the dressing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I went and got stuff for they had those bridal showers, and you always give recipes. One of the recipes we got was for something called 5-hour no-peak beef stew. And so we've made that many, many times. So this is one of the first recipes in our marriage, you might say. Right. So I'm making that. And so you got to put it in the oven at 250 for 5 hours, no peak, and then pull it out and hope that it's good.
Blake, swing over and pick me up. We'll go to Dale and Deb's for supper.
There's enough, yeah. But it's pretty good. It has tapioca in it, which thickens up the gravy a little.
Interesting.
I don't know. Yeah. I never used that in anything else, any other recipe ever. So
yeah. Well, Dale, what do you have for school news?
Okay. Well, the Jesup news. Of course, we know the library is closed this coming week. Well, from the 1st through the 6th, and they had some mold up in the ceiling. I guess it was a vent that was clogged or a fan not working right or something. And, they had that, it's like a dome ceiling right in front of the desk, which was high. And so they have to put scaffolding up, I'm imagining, and all that sort of thing to take care of that up there. And so they're going to be closed this coming week. So you have to go buy a book at, I went to Barnes & Noble last week and bought a couple books, and it's a nice feeling to browse through. You can spend hours in it. But
This is the book I bought.
yeah, Manifesto for a Moral Revolution.
It is wonderful. It is wonderful. It's a bestseller by Jacqueline Novogratz. She tells how to change the world.
Okay.
And morally. So there's some great stories in there, and I'm excited to tell you and the audience about it when I finish it.
Okay.
But her first paragraph, or not first paragraph, the first chapter talks about if you want to change the world, just start.
Yeah.
I mean, just, that's how we started the Arts Center. Back as a teacher, Dale, and this is no complaint, it's just fact. You always had to ask the principal.
Mm-hmm.
We were contracted, Dale. I understand. We were employed. And, I've said this more than once. I loved what I did, but I love no longer being contracted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how we started the Arts Center, was we just started it. And nobody said we couldn't do it. And thank God for people like you and Blake and Kara. We have, in my mind, we've been successful. Is there anything else from the library?
Oh, not that I have. No, it's just they're just they're just closed. I guess they're getting a week off, and so I thought it was interesting. This little cafe in Independence, the Buttermilk Cafe, they close in the summer usually for almost a month while the owners visit family in Europe. Well, the Owine Family Cafe, they're going to be closed from December 25th to January 25th, so the owners can visit family in Europe.
Oh, cool.
So, and I always think that's great that they get to do that. And I also think that, they've come to this country and made something of themselves. But I always wonder about mostly ladies that work there, the servers and this sort of thing. That's a long time to be without work. And so I don't know how they manage that. And it's not none of my business, but I just think, it's great for everybody, except if you count on that money and you have to go to a month without any wages, why that would be like working for the federal government almost.
Yes, it would.
It's interesting. There's a book you need to get. It's your social studies guy. It's called The Separation of Church and Hate. Very, very well done. And I've gotten an awful lot out of that. And so I think you'd be very interested in that.
Yeah, I'd like to read that. Did you buy that, or?
I had the library buy it because I saw it. Saw the author interviewed on a program. So I had the library buy it. And I read it, and then I went and bought my own copy. So there's a copy in the library, or I have my own copy, too.
All right. Well, good.
And I imagine sometime on this program, I will mention that book every now and then over the course of the next year or so, different part, because there's a lot to think about in there. Next, I guess we're coming out Monday, right? It's not live. The first week in December, and even the December schedule for the school, just mainly the basketball and the wrestling. But the girls' basketball, and you told me you've seen eight different teams play.
8 different teams, including Jesup and Walk-On play.
Did you go to the Jesup Walk-On game?
Yes.
How did the kids do?
They played like it was their first game, and we used to go through that. And the second half, they played lights out. They're handy. They're well coached. They've got kids that are athletes that like to run, that are player smart. They're co-coached this year by Jason Pilcher and Roger Oberhauser.
Okay.
And both those gentlemen do a nice job. Basketball is a big deal to both of those guys, and they do a nice job.
Yeah. Well, Jason, he was in school when we were in school. Yeah. And Roger's been up there. How old? He's been up there a long time. Years ago, when he was just a young man and was doing different things. And so, And my son said he saw you over at the Hudson. You watched Hudson and Dunkerton play over at Hudson.
I did. I did. They were two of the best teams that I've watched. Dunkerton qualified last year for the state tournament, and Hudson beat Jesup out last year in the regional semifinal, in the regional semifinal. But it was triple overtime. Both teams are guard rich. Dunkerton's post player was out with an ankle injury, and they still played lights out. They got a I want to call her Pesca girl. They've got a fueling girl. They got a Wascow girl playing for them. And I know I'm leaving out names.
Oh, sure.
Hudson's got a Hanson girl. They've got an Olsen girl. They got a move in from Columbus. Her name is O'Brien.
Is the Davis girl, is she a junior this year, she and Olsen? And then they played as freshmen. I think this is their third year.
I can't remember. It could be.
Her older brother, is the leading scorer all time at Dunkerton, or at Hudson basketball. He puts a lot of points up, so it'd be interesting to see how she ends up doing, career-wise. But excellent players.
They're fun. They're fun to watch, and they got a freshman girl that comes off the bench, the post player that's handy as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Both teams. I was talking to Coach Swab from Algona Garrigan. The woman at Iowa State played at Garrigan, and Garrigan is Garrigan is good again this year. They're ranked, I believe, number 2 right now. I watched them a little bit. He was saying that St. Ed's has a freshman girl that is 6'4", and they put Garrigan playing St. Ed's. This girl from St. Ed's had 24 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 block shots, and they still beat St. Ed's by 30 points.
Yeah. Did you ever think you see the day where a kid still in high school, a girl would be 6'4" and able to move like that so she could play basketball? It's just amazing. Somebody told me there's a 6'8" girl someplace around here, but she's not a basketball player. She's a volleyball player, but doesn't play basketball.
At Grundy Center.
Grundy Center, okay. And so that's just amazing. Well, the Jesup girls are going to play Columbus Catholic on the 2nd of December. Then they go on the 4th to South Hardin. What's the town there?
Oh, gosh. Is that Union? I think that's Union.
Okay, just says at South Hardin.
No, that's Beeman, Conrad, Lincoln, Union. I can't remember.
It will be Hardin County. So I can't remember. I've been to that little town when my grandson was playing. I can't remember what town it is. Yeah. On the 8th, they go, Center Point Urbana comes up, and they're usually pretty tough. And then Wapsie Valley, they play Wapsie Valley on the 11th, and Hudson on 12-12. That'd be a good game to see. And then Sumner Fredericksburg, they're at Sumner Fredericksburg on the 16th. And then Union, that'd be LaPorte, they come to town on the 19th. So they have quite a few games to get December going in a short month. And then they're off after that until the 6th of January. Well, the boys, it's the same thing pretty much. The 2nd, Columbus Catholic comes. The 4th, they're at South Hardin. The 11th, Wapsie Valley comes. The 12th, Hudson comes. And the 16th, they're a little different. They're at Sumner Fredericksburg. And the 19th, then Union comes to town for that doubleheader. So a lot of basketball coming up. The rest, I know the Jesup does a lot of work with the little kids wrestling. It's carrying over. The program is really getting strong, and they have meets. So it just says boys wrestling at Jesup on the 4th, at Wapsie Valley on the 6th. The Jesup Duels, I imagine that's an invitational kind of thing, is on the 6th. Wapsie Valley on the 11th, and Springville on the 13th. Grundy Center on December 18th, and Dayton New Hartford on December 20th. So they do a lot.
Yes, they do.
Off to the.
All right. Well, this is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. I'm Jim Gillespie with Dale Rueber and producer Blake Tempus. Dale, I watched the Hawks yesterday, and I don't know if you know this or not. The Hawks have always been called the bully of the Big Ten.
I guess I did not know that.
Yeah, they are. They may be the most violent team I've ever watched. I watched them yesterday, and they put some hits on Nebraska. And Nebraska had that running back that was incredible, I thought. To start the game, I thought, they're not going to be able to stop him. But Iowa ended up winning 40-16.
Yeah, well, Iowa's the least penalized team in the country, though, they said. So they must be clean.
Yeah.
Hard and clean, is that what you're saying? Or they just hit strong, or
they do. They hit strong. They're big. They're coached well in the weight room. They're fun to watch. Kurt Ferentz is a crybaby like I am, but it is. We've talked about this. As you get older, your emotions come out a little bit more. But I wrote this little spiel here. I'll I'll give you this. The Hawkeyes capped the regular season with a resounding 40-16 victory over Nebraska. It showcased the dominance in all phases of the game. Yesterday's clash in Lincoln was more than another rivalry meeting. It was a statement. The Hawkeyes, who had relied on last-second field goals in the previous 2 wins over Nebraska, left no doubt this time. After a tense first quarter that saw the score tied at 10-all, Iowa seized control with a relentless 30-3 scoring run, silencing Memorial Stadium and securing their 3rd straight win over the Cornhuskers. Mark Gronowski embodied Iowa's grit and versatility, throwing for 166 yards and a touchdown while adding 2 rushing scores. The victory was not just about numbers. It was about pride. Iowa has now beaten Nebraska 10 of their last 11 meetings, extending a streak of dominance that underscores the program's resilience. Fans, it was a celebration of toughness, teamwork, and tradition. For the players, it was proof that when the Hawkeyes play with unity and fire, they can overwhelm even their fiercest rival. In the end, Black Friday belonged to Iowa. The Hawkeyes didn't just win. They reminded the Big Ten and their neighbors to the west that they are built to rise when it matters most. You look at their season. They could have beat Oregon. They could have beat
Indiana.
They could have beat Indiana. They could have beat USC, and they could have beat Iowa State.
Yeah. That's the way ours, that's just Iowa, There's always some little blip that kills you. I think, I was thinking kickoff that bounced back to the kicking team Nebraska got, and that's where they got their touchdown, I think, out of that. That was a freak play. If they hadn't gotten that score, it wouldn't even been close the whole game. It was just, they were just terribly outplayed. I couldn't figure out why Iowa was playing his quarterback when there was less than 2 minutes in the game. He still had them out there, and they put in some, new linemen in and this sort of thing, but they kept him out there. I didn't know if he was trying to chase something or other. I don't know, some kind of record, but I just thought that was interesting that they didn't pull him out.
Yeah.
They got a game to go. I like the games when Iowa plays where you don't have a stomachache most of the way. What they're going to do, because this one you think, okay, I don't care how badly they screw up, they're not going to lose this one in the last quarter. They had it. So watching the Hawkeyes and the Cubs all these years, guys gets ulcers. It's just terrible. There's never enough points. It doesn't. So many times.
Ferentz plays for 1-score games. He wants it. He doesn't want to open things up. Rarely does he open things up.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Dale, do you have anything else for us?
Well, I have something too, a few things here, and I want you to think about this because you can help me with couples. But I remember years ago, my son was still in high school, I think, and there was some scandal on the news where somebody had been caught in a love nest or whatever with a woman he wasn't married to, and so he was quite a prominent figure. And after that, it just kind of really destroyed the guy's career. And like Chris looked at me and said, well, he says, sex wins again. And I thought about that. I said, well, yeah, that's true. And it came up again with this Lawrence Summers, who was at one time president of Harvard University and still taught there and was in presidential cabinets. And this Epstein stuff started coming out. And he said, well, I'm stepping back from public life because he knows he's in there. And so it's pretty much, I don't know what he had planned for the rest of his life, but he's pretty much very low key. And so I was thinking, you remember a presidential candidate named Gary Hart?
Oh, yes, yes.
Can you remember the girl?
I remember, well, I can picture, I don't remember her name.
It was Donna Rice.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's amazing how we remember her, but he was a presidential candidate and married with kids, but he also had this girlfriend, and someone got some pictures of him. The two of them, they were on a boat, and I used to know the name of the boat. Now I don't, but it has a funny name. But that pretty much ruined him. Clear back like King David and Bathsheba.
Oh, yeah.
He was lusting after her, so he sent her husband up to the battle and told him, put him on the front lines, and so he was killed. And so that he could have Bathsheba, and they had a child, and God caused the child to die in the first year. It's in the Bible. And so I was thinking about the biggest scandal I can remember for movie stars growing up was when Liz Taylor and Richard Burton were first, before they were in Cleopatra, the movie.
Yeah.
It started a torrid affair. Before that, there's an actress named Debbie Reynolds. she was married to Eddie Fisher. Eddie Fisher was a popular singer, and Debbie Reynolds was the good girl actress, the cute with the ponytail and this sort of thing. Liz Taylor decided one way or the other, I don't know who decided, but she wanted Eddie Fisher. And so Eddie Fisher left young girl next door, Debbie Reynolds, to go with Liz Taylor. And then Liz dumped him after a short while to go with Richard. What's his name?
Richard Burton.
Richard Burton, yeah. As far as Eddie Fisher's career pretty much went bust after he dropped Debbie Reynolds to go with Liz Taylor. And Liz Taylor, was a very exotic woman, and a lot of people thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world. And she ended up with 6 or 7 husbands and everything. And so I was just thinking, after all this time with this Lawrence Summers thing, how this has hurt him, and how you just got to, I'm done. He knows he's done and he's out. And so I don't know. Can you think of any other couples where this sort of thing happened?
Oh, there was a candidate named Edwards that got caught. A Democratic candidate named Edwards.
Yeah, I remember.
He got caught cheating, got a lady pregnant outside of wedlock.
Okay.
Donald Trump, obviously, Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky scandal. The Kennedys with what was the blonde-haired actress from that? Marilyn Monroe.
There are books written about people that worked at the White House, and part of their job was to girls from the office staff to come down and go nude swimming with Kennedy and his friend in the White House swimming pool when Jackie was out of town. And basically they were pimping for the presidency. So, and you wonder if Kennedy had been able to run for a second term, if a lot of that stuff would have come out, or if the press would just keep ignoring it like they used to, would probably, they wouldn't scandalize people so much.
Well, didn't Franklin Roosevelt die with his girlfriend down in Georgia?
Franklin Roosevelt had a girlfriend. Dwight Eisenhower had a girlfriend. Kennedy had a girlfriend. Lyndon Johnson was a poor country teacher, could hardly keep alive, and then he ended up dying as a millionaire because of his time in politics. Yeah, Franklin Roosevelt, he had a girlfriend. Eisenhower was having an affair with an English girl who was his driver in London during the war. And after the war, he made arrangements for her to come back to live in Washington, D.C. and got her a job. And so, but they didn't used to report on that as much as they do now. So,
right.
Ball players, Babe Ruth had lots of different things going on they never reported on. And they might say he had a tummy ache from eating too many hot dogs. Well, more than likely it was a venereal disease of some kind. But, they thought about the poor kids and this sort of thing, so they wouldn't report on it. But it's amazing. But I always got a kick out of Chris saying sex wins again, because these guys know they have a lot to lose, but they still go straight ahead into this, and so.
They do it anyway.
Yeah. Careful those women out there.
All right. Well, don't forget a few announcements for the Steve Brown Arts Center. Don't forget we have a 24-hour Mustang camera sponsored by Joe's Pizza in Independence. You get a chance to go to that. I haven't went to that during the blizzard day today. It'd be interesting to see that during the blizzard.
Like crashing the Blake's Bank there on the corner. So
yes.
Take that too fast.
We are having an event at Joe's Pizza in Jesup, December 17th. We are coming. We are going to be live on YouTube that night. We have Billy Joe, Shell Oldakowski as an artist. We have Piper Zelli, a high school artist, going to be showing stuff that night and selling stuff. We have Tim Kemmer is going to be playing his guitar.
To come and hear him, he's got some really neat songs that he does. I'm looking forward to hearing him again.
John Decker, who's been extremely kind over the years to the Steve Brown Arts Center, has an incredible Christmas collection, and he will be showing his art at Joe's December 17th from 5 until 7. And the neat thing is Joe will be giving away 100 slices to the first 100. Let me restate that. A slice of pizza to the first 100 people that come in that night.
Now, I'd be interested if the first guy in gets 100 slices of pizza. That
would be.
Now, that would be a promotion, boy.
We were supposed to put up Billy Joe Oldakowski's Christmas collection today in Ems, but because of the blizzard, Ems is closed, so we didn't do that. I think we're going to put it up Monday morning at about 9 o'clock. Things work out. That'll be before the audience hears this. Don't forget that I am looking for 12 artists. I believe I have 6 more artists for next year already, but I need 6 more. Remember, anxiety does not exist with gratitude, and this is a special time with Thanksgiving. I'm so grateful to be with Blake and Dale every week. If you'd like to donate to the Steve Brown Art Center, I want to do a shout out to Tom and Darlene Beller. They just donated. They listen down in Overland Park, Kansas every week. And thank you. Your donation is very important. If you'd like to donate to the Steve Brown Art Center and have an idea for the event, go to the SteveBrownArtCenter.org and follow the link. If you have news or would like to sponsor us, email us at jim@SteveBrownArtCenter.org or call 319-290-0241 and leave a message or talk to Dale or Blake. Dale, do you have anything else?
Well, I'm good to go. I got to look at the snow and then figure out where my shovel is. So I haven't done that yet.
I'm Jim Gillespie with co-host Dale Rueber and producer Blake Tempus. Our thanks as always to our sponsors and to Heartland Business and Event Center. Thanks to the audience for bringing these stray dogs into your life. And remember, as always, and today is a huge one, getting us on the air. Blake dragging these stray dogs onto the air. Each day is about little victories.
Yes, it is.